What happens when math goes wrong in aviation? Could a simple mathematical mistake lead to a potentially catastrophic event? Let's dive into the story of July 1983, when an Air Canada Boeing 767 had to crash land after running out of fuel at 12,500 meters, gliding 100 kilometers before landing in Gimli, Manitoba. This peculiar incident has its roots in a basic mathematics error. Air Canada had been using the imperial system of measurements, but was in the process of converting to the metric system, which this Boeing 767 was already using. However, the ground crew, still accustomed to the imperial system, measured the fuel in pounds instead of kilograms. This might sound like a minor miscalculation, but it had major implications. Each kilogram equates to 2.2 pounds, which meant that the aircraft had only about half the amount of fuel necessary to complete the flight. Unbeknownst to the pilots, the fuel gauge was not operating correctly, making it impossible for them to spot this discrepancy. As the plane commenced descent, the left engine failed, and within minutes, the right one followed. The cockpit alarm blared, all engines out, and the jet lost power. To make matters worse, the 767 was one of the first jets with an electronic instrument system powered by its engines, meaning when the engines stopped, the instruments went dark. Luckily, the Ram Air Turbine, or RAT, powered emergency instruments sufficient to land the aircraft and provided some hydraulic support for maneuvering the plane. The ground crew in Montreal had manually loaded the fuel using calculations involving jet fuel's specific gravity due to a malfunctioning fuel quantity information system computer on Flight 143. However, they used a factor of 1.77 pounds per litre instead of the all-metric 0.8 kilograms per litre required for the new 767, resulting in the plane carrying only half the fuel it needed to reach Edmonton. Consequently, the plane began to run out of gas near Red Lake, Ontario, 225 kilometers from Gimli. The pilot, Captain Robert Pearson, an experienced glider pilot, and First Officer Maurice Quintal, familiar with the landing strips at Gimli, managed to land the plane safely. An unexpected factor that played a role in averting disaster was a guardrail along the runway and the failed nose gear. As the aircraft came to a stop, the nose gear collapsed, causing the nose to slam, bounce, and scrape along the ground. This added friction slowed the aircraft, preventing it from careening into the crowds surrounding the runway. Flight 143 finally came to rest 17 minutes after running out of fuel over Red Lake, Ontario, about halfway to its destination. This incident serves as a stern reminder of the critical importance of accurate math in aviation, where even a simple conversion error can lead to potentially disastrous consequences.